The other exciting thing which I'm calling you for is the introduction of the ZiG as the new currency of Zimbabwe. We had the occasion where the new reserve governor, Dr. Richava, a seasoned banker of many years, came before the nation to announce the arrival or the launch of a new currency, the ZiG. To underscore the support of the ZiG by gold, and I'll go to that, the president made sure that he took a tour of our vaults to demonstrate to the general Zimbabwe public that the thing, the structured currency we are bringing, which is based upon gold, the gold is actually there. I want to take you a little bit, you are young, but this is a true story. Sometime in 2014, I believe, we were at a ZANU-PF conference in Chinoy. The former president of the First Republic comes out before the membership of the party, 6,000 to 7,000. He says, we had our gold reserves. Then the Americans imposed sanctions. Then we were short of US dollars. As we were short of US dollars, our Reserve Bank governor then, I won't mention the name these days, I'm not mentioning names. Our Reserve Bank governor then engaged outsiders with excess of US dollars in the Arab world. They sell oil. So they sell oil in US dollars, which is what supports what is called the petrodollar. So they said, we can give you US dollars to the governor, who went back to his principal, but on condition that you back it, you support it with your gold. So it was agreed that we exchange our gold reserves then for US dollars. But the transaction to be complete, the Arabs demanded or requested that the gold move from our own vaults outside of the country to where they can see the gold themselves, which our former governor duly obliged. The story gets murky after that, according to the former president. The gold reserves are gone, US dollars don't come. So he had a very facile explanation. He says, you know, Alibaba and the 40 thieves, these Arabs. So he goes back to folklore that the Alibaba stole our gold and never brought the US dollars. So the currency wars of this country worsened because we didn't have gold reserves. For your own information also, when Rhodes took over the mines, the historical mines which built Great Zimbabwe, Kami, Maputo, in 1890s, afterwards our gold production went to almost 250, 260 tons per year as a country. We had mines of legend, Globe and Phoenix, Kamen Water Mine, Downey. All these mines, they are historically recognized. I think Globe and Phoenix is recognized as one of the longest running gold mining reef. Even today, you just need to empty the water inside and you start digging gold. It has been going on for almost a century, more than that. I'm not sure how many years before the whites came, it was supporting the Mutapa civilization of gold. Why am I getting to? What I'm saying is that gold has always been the mainstay of Zimbabwe's economy. In pre-colonial times, the great Zimbabwe civilization subsisted on gold. You could not build these citadels you are talking about if the currency was not reliable for centuries. Because the workers would have not built chipped stone and poured water, cut wood, burn granite, poured water, chipped those into blocks which you see on Great Zimbabwe. That requires a consistency of stability in the currency. So gold has been our currency for years. I had an anecdote the other day in the political to the membership to say, where does the word Shona come from? And I didn't know until somebody gave me what is probably a plausible explanation. And it was the Indian ambassador, former Indian ambassador. He says, in Hindi, the word gold is Sona. You understand? Sona. And everybody who has traded with Zimbabwe before traded with this country because it was gold country. The Chinese came here for gold. That's why we have been dynasty pottery at Great Zimbabwe and before. The Arabs came here for gold. The Iranians at Kilwa, on the coast, they came here for gold. The Somalis, who probably gave the province of Sofala its name in Mozambique, they are traders of note, the Somalis. They came here for gold. The Portuguese, when they came and rounded Africa, they went to Mutapa's kingdom and converted him to Christianity. They were looking at a country, a kingdom which supplied gold, and his children ended up as bishops in Goa. They built the churches there. This is history. Because we're a gold country. Roads comes around. What did he come to Zimbabwe for? Gold. So the Hindu people also must have identified this country as gold country. So maybe we have now a proper explanation of the word Shona, gold country in India. Because Shona is a language of trade, not a tribe. So why am I saying all this? There is absolute historical logic in the president saying that we are introducing Zimbabwe gold as a currency, and that it will be backed by gold. He is looking at the historical experience of what is backed Zimbabwe's currency before. Now, everybody now has a fetish about the US dollar. You know what is a fetish? Worshipping something like Shikiro, Mudzimu, Wemani. But the US dollar is only less than 300 years old. America becomes a country in 1779. All these civilizations which I'm talking about, they existed before America became even a country. And we were making this economy deliver Africa's foremost civilization in sub-Saharan Africa, the Great Zimbabwe civilization, based on it as a country. Why are you so much infatuated with the dollar of America, which is a later day currency than gold, which has always been the currency of this country? This is the question which I pose to all the pseudo-economists and gifting Ghana who want us to believe that the US dollar is the all and everything in currency. Why did we run an economy before America, which was not based on the US dollar, and it gave Africa's foremost civilization? How did we do it? If America is the one which must give life to the currencies of other countries, we cannot accept that. And that's what the president has done. He has gone back to history. I want the Zimbabwe people to get confident, to absolutely trust their president, because what he's been doing is just going back to what the Mutapas did. So, by the same token, we expect every Zimbabwean to do his best to defend the sick from those who are charlatans. Vanoda kunyeba kuti tinoziya financial theory, vanoda kuti tinoziya mari, vachinyebera vanhu ana mukana. Musanyebe, this currency, gold, has existed for 5,000 years. It has outlived every government of the world for 5,000 years, because this is the story of human civilization. Gold has outlived every government of the world from every region for 5,000 years. America has only 300 years. It is the one which destroyed the gold currency. Only 1980 in the 1971. That's only when America used petroleum from Saudi Arabia to dethrone gold. And now you can see what the instability which it is doing to the global economy. Because now the Arabs are beginning to run away from the US dollar. This is the money created by government. And this is, yet in Zimbabwe, it's money not created by government. It's created by our people digging gold. We dig money. Tinochera money in Zimbabwe because gold is everywhere. Now, chaunochera chako. Chonzi chosapota currency. Iwota handichidi. Ndinoda chandinopiwa nekuWashington. Chinobva kuNew York, chinopindwa kuNew York. What we are an economist. Gavarika kuita poison our children in financial, in business school, or in finance, anamuganda. Tisirewo vana, try to be faithful to the science of finance, because it's a science. Try to tell the history of money as it is, not falsify it, but at the same time, admire the ingenuity of the President of the Republic and his economic team in going to use something which is ours, which we can touch. Kungotumira vana vadiki vari kuchera gold, kuti cherai mugold, tibve pa 30 tons tiende payakambochiswa nagrowth pa 300 tons, pa 250 tons, even half of that. And do you realize what has happened in the last 6 months or 4 months? The price of gold breaches $2,000. This week it is $2,300, $2,400. The more instability there is in the world, geopolitics, the more the price of gold goes. Now you are telling me kuti unoda kuti currency kusupportwa nechinhu chine price ikukwira every day, chine demand ikukwira, chamuinacho haisiyo iri, I cannot trust it. I would trust the paper which is printed in Washington. No, it is not proper. So it is in this context that the president has decided to introduce the Z gold through his governor of the central bank. It will be backed by gold, and we are determined that it will keep its value in tandem with its reference point, which is the price of gold. And the price of gold is the same at any place during the day, anywhere in the world. It's determined by the London bullion market. The global price of gold. And by the way, the owners of the London bullion market, do you know who are the owners? The Chinese from Hong Kong. They own the London bullion market. So you can't play hanky-panky with the price of gold, because it is something which is universally traded. So there was a time when a private company gave this country a currency, it was all mutual implied rate, OMI. Everybody followed OMI until our currency collapsed. Apana akamboda kubvunza anonzi gift Uganda kuti OMI yambobva. It was coming from a derivative which was registered in New York. It's called BSIG. Check on your Google. Perhaps the international group. They were the owners of that derivative. That was where OMI, Old Mutual Implied Rate, was pegged. So a derivative of a company directed the currency of this country, and everyone followed it publicly in the supermarkets and used it, Vachita exchange rate. Nobody questions that. Now we have the central bank government of this country from an elected government. Yen occupy a reference point. Yaanota a bullion market price in gold. You don't want faith in that. Aspire Gagairima individuals who know Mugano, you wanted when it was a private company, you accepted that. This is blasphemy. This is duplicity of the worst possible kind. What am I saying? I'm saying to those who want to run down the zip, trader, and giving it a false value, vari kuseri kweholiday in hotel. Our security apparatus yakabva muhondo will be alert this time. We want to ask you kuti chaikupa price waiwanepi, because gold kumasvingo negold pamutare, the price is the same as the one in Burkina Faso or in Bolivia. Saka price yako hiyo yaona kuchaja iweyo for the rate of exchange yezig to the US dollar waiwanepi other than these institutions. Umbonyazoti explainera kuti waiwanepi. So I think the system will be very much alert. That's why the president, when he introduced this currency, he appealed, one, to all countries, all nations, to support Zimbabwe's new currency, so that they don't use geopolitics to undermine our currency, those who may not approve them. That's why I said Zimbabwe is a friend to none, and I mean a friend to all and an enemy to none. Those countries which wish well Zimbabwe, they should be able to make us support our currency, but if they don't want to support, just let it live. if you don't want to support, just let it live, but please don't undermine it. That's what his appeal. And secondly, he said to Zimbabweans, do your best to defend your currency. If there are people who are trading it other than in the way it should be done, then they should be able to explain why they are deviating from the price of gold, which is backing our currency. If they can't give a good explanation, then they must somehow account for their activities through the national security system of the country. Because it means that you are using, somehow you are playing to somebody else who is trying to undermine our currency. And this also indicates that we are on the journey to monocurrency, an irreversible journey to a monocurrency, which is the ZiG, this dollar. We have, of course, the assurance that until 2030 we use the multi-currency, but in a freely traded, market-driven demand and supply situation. That's what we will use. The president is not trying to use fiat, government promulgations to sustain. No, he's trying to use market forces to make sure that our currency is acceptable because it maintains value in the market. So we are using market. There are people who have always said ZANU-PF does not respect market forces. This time we are fully in tandem with market forces, harnessing them to make sure that our currency is supported. We will also, the governor, the Minister of Finance, both in the Politburo and Minister Mtuli, and also here, Deputy Minister Mnangagwa David, they gave an assurance that the government is not going to the Reserve Bank to borrow money. It is not going to go back to the Reserve Bank to borrow money. So there will be no creation of money by the government through the Reserve Bank system. The creation of money by the government will be through value adding to the economy, which means increasing gold production. So everything will be done to make sure that young people dig more gold. Kumakaha, Kugwanda, Kugiant mine. I had the pleasure of seeing young people in giant mine giving people 10 pounds. Wachitenda president chef asada kuita mari akadaitwa driver ma GT6 Pigston mine wanadi because of gold. So apana startup yakura in the world is the fastest Zimbabwe gold production. So this is a good thing. We are adding value through production. But beyond that, the president is also bringing lithium into the play. You just hear the announcement with Kumapinga Kuchavapa, a full-fledged value chain of lithium batteries by the same companies which produce the fastest trains in China. My high-speed trains. That company in China is the one which is going to Mapinga to produce new energy vehicle batteries as we move from fossil fuels to new energy battery mobility. So Zimbabwe is snap in the center of new global mobility. This is creating value. You will be happy to know that in the next week or two, the blast furnace goes up at Mapinga, at at Manizi. These are value creation ventures by the president on a scale, on a global scale. We used to import $800 million worth of steel every year, annually. Now we'll be producing all of it in excess for export. You may not know, trucks every day, coking coal. We are making $10 million a day, a month from coking coal. These are all the ventures of the president under foreign direct investment to create wealth, to support the Zimbabwe dollar by creating wealth, not by printing money. You will be happy to know that even the IMF rebalanced the Zimbabwean GDP and repegged it. It was repegged from 17 million to 17 billion to $47 billion. This reflects a growth in the economy of Zimbabwe. Now, all this growth from 17 to 47 billion acknowledged by the IMF. How does it make the currency depreciate unless somebody is playing around with the currency? So the president says the government will not tamper with the currency. We expect all other people not also to tamper with that currency. Because currency reflects the growth of the economy, the robustness, the organic growth of the economy. So our GDP has been repegged. The currency should reflect the growth in that economy. That's why I'm saying this so that you understand as the messengers of the word to the public that there is no reason why you should not have confidence in your currency. Those are two more popular. Kuparabadika kwese pandinoita chitaura zvese kuti ini muite confidence yekunotaura vanhu kuti currency yeyu pane chikonzero chaita kuti president vadaro hazvina kungoitwa zvatsuro nagudu. It's based on economic fundamentals. We also expect that this new confidence in the economy will free money in the nostrils of this country, 1.5 to 1.8 billion US dollars. Mari ngomo, neziya mari ngomo. Mari inongogara mubenki isingazvari kana interest, because the price of money is called interest. That's finance 101. The price of money in a value. Value yayo is interest. Mazvinzwa. Saka mari iri mumabenki yemanostrils imari ngomo haiswera interest. Asi yakatoko imari yevana vemuZimbabwe haina kupiwa naAmerica. That money needs to be recycled. So we are hoping that with gold now being the currency, there can be fungibility between that nostrum and gold and zinc. Fungibility means kuchinjika. Unotambira gozi, otambira nostrum. Otambira nostrum, otambira zinc. That's fungibility. So maybe now there is a reason for the banks in this country not to keep idle money because they can convert it to zinc. And maybe with the wisdom of the Minister of Mines together with this according to the President's wishes, in consultation, maybe open the banks to come and buy gold, to set up gold centers. Could one ever share a gold, one even more currency, even more US dollars, so that they dig more gold under safe conditions, because there's every effort now to improve the safety of the mining environment for SMEs. Hapana chikonzero chokuti mwana ari kuenda kunochera goridhe, mwana wake anoti baba havangadzoke nhasi. Hapana chikonzero chokuti murume ari kunochera goridhe, mukadzi wake anoti baba havangadzoke nhasi kuma-SMEs. Hapana chikonzero chokuti ana mai vane mwana ari kunochera goridhe vanoti mwana wangu haangadzoke nhasi. We need to bring safety to the SME sector. It has grown tremendous in a very short period of time of 6 years. But it has done, it is the basis why the zinc is there, because we are producing more gold. So chino chakanaka, if something is good, do more of it. So SMEs have been good, they've given us zinc. Give them more support. And that's what the President is saying in the Politburo. So we will be doing everything to make sure that we increase our gold production by supporting the SME gold sector through introducing safety, through ease of marketing, through parity pricing of gold, so that the price anywhere in the world is the same. So these are the things which we are going to be done to make sure that our currency keeps value. Ndiri kuda kuti imi sevanyori vanodzidzisa vanhu nezvamunonyora mutaure kuti hapana chikonzero chingaite kuti gold yedu ishaye value. Kana paitikowo chikonzero chimwe imi mukachiona mustreet motiudza nekukatsira kuti ndimi munowananisa. Toda kubvunza iyeye kuti ndepapi pareswa kuti gold yedu isamaintaine value, zig isamaintaine. Kana paichinyoreswa negovernment chonhadziro, asi kana paine humwewo huitwe usina tsarukano, tonyatsoongorora kuti wabva kupi kuti tisapote currency yedu. You also want to know that 80% of the money circulating in Zimbabwe in US dollars is in US dollars. Saka tatove nawo ma-US dollars acho, asi ma-US dollars aongo akanyorwa kunzi US, asi haana kupiwa to Zimbabwe naAmerica. They are not a gift of America to the Zimbabwe government. There was no Federal Reserve plan coming from New York landing at the airport in Zimbabwe giving us 80% of the currency to circulate. No, it didn't happen that way. How did we get those US dollars? We dug gold. We went and sold gold to the global market in Dubai in particular. Kwakureza ma-US iwayo kuuya nawo kunokumba. Akabva kuAmerica achinzi ari kuenda kuDubai. Gold ndobva yanodhibana nawo Dubai, ndobva auya kuno kumusha. So it's our money. We have domesticated US dollars in this country. That's why some of them are so dead, the Americans will say, I said, because we have domesticated that currency. Now, if it's already our money, whether it is zig yako muhomwe cannot US dollars, asiri mari yako yawasenzera. Chii chikakunetse kuti ushaye confidence mune zig rako, if the other US dollars on the other pocket are what you earned yourself. The US dollars in circulation here, they are earned by Zimbabwe. They are not a gift from anybody else. They are hard work from the Zimbabwean people. So this is another layer of confidence. Yekuti unorambirei zig rako riri kusupportwa ne-80% yecurrency yema-US. Awakatokusenzera kudhara uinawo muhomwe. We now want confidence kuti achibuda muhomwe mako mamwe ari mumapiro achibuda achienda musi, achibuda achienda kumabhanka, or achienda kunotenga gold yevana vadiki acirculate. This will give us a strong currency. I have been at length focusing on this issue. Yekuti muziye kuti beyond Zimbabwe, beyond trading to get US dollars, we actually dig money. Because gold yacho yakazara everywhere. Pamwe panobatiri pana mukachera time. Munotozwa vakubuda pano mane chinzi chaputi ipo panapa chegold. Ameno kuti Mwari wacho akazviita sei akatipa gold yacho everywhere. Now, if we are a country which digs gold, which has been mine for 5,000 years, wonzwa kunzi hauna mari. It's like kuti ndine nyota yemakumba ari muchisipiti. Uri kutadza kungokotamba kuti mucherere. So this is what we are doing as a country to support our currency. I think I've been very much at pains on those two important issues, the drought as well as the zig. I just want to end up by saying the Second Republic came first with strong NTS-1 policies. That's the president. Then he assembled a team, a dream economic team of our finance minister and the former central bank governor, and an equally competent one who is coming in to make sure that our economy, once stabilized, is given a supportive currency. The third element which he has brought in now is the Mutapa Sovereign Wealth Fund. We are seeing all these investments in lithium, in steel, in agriculture. They need infrastructure to support. Where we were lacking is that there be no investment in our infrastructure because most of them were state-run companies which were not being efficiently and profitably run. Now, the seasoned banker who worked so hard to make sure that our currency does not lose value in the last 4 years, Comrade Mangunji, he has now been given the task of being chairman of the Mutapa Fund. Those assets which were idle, those dog assets in finance or in business, they are now going to be turned into cow assets which actually bring profit. And in the process, they service this economy which is coming up. We need railways, we need roads, we need water, we need new airports to service Anamanese. You can't fly from London. Nendege yako kuzoteka stadium Zimbabwe which will be the cheapest. Also driver 43 hours going to Manise to know the airport iko. We need ports to Mozambique and the railways to connect. So that the Mutapa Fund is there to make sure that these operations I am talking about are going to get the necessary capital, because the balance sheet is already existing through proven production of steel, through proven production of coking coal, through proven production of lithium, through the establishment of a special economic zone at Mapinga, and maybe soon another one for downstream steel fabrication at Manise. All these are balance sheets which you can take to any bank in the world and say, this kukwereta mari, feja. Kukwereta mari, and speak gambling with your money because the assets are there. So the Mutapa Fund complements is the last chapter in the president's reform of the economy, so that it becomes a full-fledged private sector-driven economy with capital from anywhere in the world coming into Zimbabwe to support the growth of this economy towards Vision 2030. That's what the president is doing. Now, in finance, you talk of money in terms of a decade or more. Money, annuities. They are not factoring where our economy is going to be in a decade or more, or by even 2030. What currency collapse today? When all these sinews of the economy are being marshaled by the president to make sure that Zimbabwe has got a vibrant economy. So the value the future value of the Zimbabwe dollar, you will be denied which don't seek guy parallel. When all the economy is getting strong across the board, because it is debunking the realities of economic theory and financial planning. That's why we are saying the Zig dollar, under all normal circumstances, should strengthen, because the economy is strengthened to the attestation of the IMF, which has repegged our value, our GDP, to 47 billion. IMF yacho chai. Saka imi muda kuzviramba zvichipopvepi. When all the pundits, the accepted pundits of global finance, are painting a rosy picture about Zimbabwe, where is your negative aspect coming from? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Yes, please.
Pamusanga ndaida kumbonishona kuti nyaya yekuti musangano weZANU-PF uchange wava pakati pekupiwa kwevanhu chikafu munguva yenzara uzokanganisira kuti vasingadzigiri bati pamusangano weZANU-PF vange vachizoshayawo chikafu.
Ndinoda kukuimbisa kuti ZANU-PF ipati inoda vana vemuZimbabwe vese. Saka kana patakarwira independence yeZimbabwe hatina kumbopa chimbedu kune vatinoti ndeveZANU-PF tichiimwa vasiri veZANU-PF. Ndosaka munhu wese achivhota muZimbabwe kunyange usiri weZANU-PF. Saka pane nyaya dzezvipiwa zvenyika, ZANU-PF haipe ichipatsanura vana vedu. Tiri vana vaNyamura tese muZimbabwe, hapana asiri mwana waNyamura. Pakudya hapana kuti mwana womutorwa kana kuti mwana wani, tinodya tese mugate reZANU-PF. saka pane nyaya tiri kuendera yekuti vanhu ZANU-PF kuseenzesa ruzivo rweZANU-PF rwemakore ekuronga vanhu kuti tione kuti hurumende yaona kuti munhu wese acho haisiyo ZANU-PF inenge ichipa chikafu kwete. Ndakutaurirai kuti vanopa chikafu igavhumende, vanhu vanoseenzera maextension officers vanobva kuministry of agriculture, vehealth nevesocial welfare. Hurumende yakasiyana neZANU-PF. Isu kwedu kungopikita veZANU-PF kuti hapana ita nzara here sepati inoda vanhu vemuZimbabwe nando kwatakabva. Dai tisina kunge takaronga vanhu vemuZimbabwe tisanosvika patakasvika. Saka pane nyaya yechikafu, hapana mutorwa, hapana muvengi wepolitics. Tiri vana vanyamunhu. Mapira atakangoita vhoti kune mwana wese wemuZimbabwe kuti vhota kunyange usiri weZANU-PF ndo mapira atichangopa chikafu kune vanhu. Ndosaka muchiona ana TPC vakamira-mirawo vakawanawo mavhotsi avo paelection yatakaitika. Hatina kubaramba kuti posti reZANU-PF hataarambidza haya eTPC. Mapira atakapa vhoti kune vanhu ndo mapira atinongoita chikafu. Mazvinzwa? Hatisarudzi. Mapira atakakupai vhoti neveTPC ndo mapira achakupai chikafu, muchanakirwa, mufire nzara. Kana mangoita nzara, ridzirai foni kuna mutsvangwa panzvimbo penyu kuti tanyimwa nenzira yekuti hatisi veZANU-PF. Ndinoenda ndonobvunza wacho ari kutaura iye kuti unoda kuti nditi ndinonyeba papress conference here iwe. Aripo futi mukomana wangu unomuridzira foni. What we say here is what will be done. Hatinyebi pane nyaya yechikafu. Ndati president vakaita misangano yavo yepolitibhiro pamwe chete neCentral Committee vachidaidzira mutungamiri weZANU-PF kuti ivo vazviona nemuono wavo kuti gavhena Richava mushaya vanhu vataurire vanhu vemuZimbabwe kuti taane mutengo mutsva unonzi zigi. Uyu ndo wange uchazenge uyu uchaseenzeswa kubvisa dzakati nadzo mitengo dzakasiyana-siyana including the RTGS. Vakaenderera pemberi vakati zigi redu rerwendo rwuno richange rakatsamira pagoridhe yedu senyika nyika yedu ine mbiri yekuchera goridhe. Zvekare ivo sapresident zita ravo ichavanenge vakunzi Mr. Strong Zigi. Ivo zita ravo aMnangagwa, president Mnangagwa vanenge vakupiwa zita itsva rekuti Strong Zigi. Vachaita zvese zvavanoigona sapresident kuti zigi reZimbabwe rirambe rakasimba vachisapota Central Bank Governor vamushaya vanhu. Havasi kuzobvumidza ivo kuti zigi rive rinohira pamutengo. Zigi iri richange richiratidza kuti vane rivimbo naro, rinosapotwa negoridhe. Vakabva vaenda kunoratidza kunyika ino kureserve kuti goridhe yacho iyi, and goridhe yacho vari kutaura iri kucherwa nevana vemuZimbabwe vamunoziva vese vana vechidiki kuti kubvira 2016